There we go.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to start out by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. It's the brother Bars all.
Nathaniel.
Yeah, we're just going to go into a lesson in regards to this kingdom that we're all, a part of, which we know, of course, biblically is Babylon the Great, which is modern day America in the scriptures. Now, different brothers live in different land masses, but like the apostles always speak about how this is really the epicenter of all wickedness. All right, this is the kingdom that the scriptures speak about in Revelation, the hoard itself upon many waters. And when you go to Revelation 17:15, that's talking about peoples and nations and tongues. How can you prove that America is that kingdom? It's known as I think
Great melting pot.
The melting pot or homo. And when you look up melting pot, it's something that was homogeneous, I think, instead of heterogeneous. Hetero, if I'm not mistaken, is or heterogeneous instead of homogeneous, because hetero is supposed to be the opposite and homo is the same. Now, all kingdoms, China, India, Pakistan, they're predominantly Chinese, Pakistani, and Indian. So on and so forth with all these countries. America is a melting pot of all nations, kingdoms, and tongues, and it pushes all the idols. It has all the wicked legislations from the ancient world, like you have even legislations on the whole, like the Code of Hammurabi, which the law system is one of the they look at as one of the founding codes in American law, as well as the Roman architecture, Roman numerals that's established here. They have the Greek gods, which we have to go by the days of the week, and the calendar system through this Greco-Roman, as well as these schools and institutions that are built off of a Greco-Roman lifestyle, as well as the educational system. Even Assyria. So all these different kingdoms amalgamated into one is Babylon. All right. Confusion. The word confuse is con is with, fuse is to mix. America has mixed all kingdoms in one, and they think that they're going to actually have a success story after all this wickedness, and that's why we titled it as such, as how he spake as a lamb. He had horns as a lamb, but he spake as a dragon, because he's confusing the masses of the people to think that this kingdom is really here for their benefit, when it's been nothing but hell for us, man. It killed our forefathers and poisoned and robbed our forefathers, pursuant to John 10:10, which I'll hold that. I'll read that. And it's doing the same to us, winking us, bamboozling us, selling us a false dream, which is a false sense of reality. And it's, looking to ultimately put us down. But that's why we have to have a Lord. We know that we have a Lord and Savior, and we have to have that Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, deliver us from this said king. So we're going to get to some scripts, and of course,
I got a quick precept because you had mentioned it. This is Deuteronomy 32, and I'm going to say verse 7. It says, "Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set their bounds to the people according to the number of the children of Israel." And the reason why I brought that out is because the Lord purposefully had divided the nations, because it wasn't meant for the nations to be a melting pot, right? But over here in Babylon, he put everything, Esau has gathered the nations together, which also shows you that he's contrary to the word of the Lord, because the Lord divided the nations and he brought everything back. He brought the nations together. So it creates confusion because you have all of these different cultures melting in one place, you know what I'm saying? And that causes a high level of confusion here in Babylon,
And that's why you have a lot of envy, you have a lot of strife, you have a lot of what they call I think the term is like redlining, where you'll go to certain parts of these communities and these cities and states, and you see that it's certain nations that's in high prosperity, but you see that it's certain nations that's in high disparity. All right. And if you work these certain jobs, then it's predominantly Indian, or it's predominantly which the Indians go back, Elam, predominantly so-called white people, which are the Edomites, and people from these different nations, they're going to be the superior nation within that institution. All right. And if they're at the bottom, they're going to be envious. All right. Work a job where it's predominantly black people and, you got one white boy. Either he's going to try to match the energy or he's going to he's already going to be planning a great escape, because us as a people, we were never made to all live in one. All right. You have nations that rule and you have nations that are designed to be in subjugation under those nations. But see, Esau, through the turning of things upside down, as it is written in Isaiah, the 29th chapter, he put himself in the power seat, put white women in the power seat, put children in the power seat, and make the strongest nations of people, which consist of us, the Israelites, you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, the at the bottom, man, the tail, as it is written. Look at what they're doing to these the Northern Kingdom, which we know that's judgment. But at the end of the day, a lot of these states and locations that these Issacharites, which are the so-called Mexicans and Northern Kingdoms being thrown out, their forefathers were aboriginals or the natives in those different land masses, man. So this man is a big boy hypocrite, and he's going to push the engine further to come against us. That's what that big, beautiful bill and all these different legislations that Trump and the good old boys in the White House are signing aggressively is to come against us, the men that really hold their own through the spirit, as far as I'm talking about a true level of keeping the truth in its entirety and truth and sincerity. Those are the ones that's a global threat. Truthers, the ones that's unplugged from this matrix. And he wants to plug us back in. And his last hoorah is to push that device and try to lodge it within the minds and the hands of the elect, as well as everyone else. But
let me get that revelation.
Yeah, you can. I got this definition though. I'm gonna read it real fast under melting pot. A melting pot is a monocultural, which is one culture metaphor for a heterogeneous society becoming more homogeneous. The different elements melting together with the common culture, and that's in Ezekiel. That pot whose scum. An alternative being a homogeneous society becoming more heterogeneous through the influx of foreign elements with different cultural backgrounds. And you cannot say that's not America. All right. You can ride and see Chinese temples, Buddhist temples, idols all throughout, see all kind of different shops. Now in the ancient world, if you were to set up idols in these different locations, then those idols will be broken down and the individuals that actually established those idols will be put to death. In America, you might work with a big boy Satanist, man. Mm-hmm. Sacrificing goats and sheep in the backyard in the name of Satan, and tell people in the staff, and it's his rights. He has so-called rights.
Hey, if I can say too, currently, I have transgenders that I work with, which is kind of like on the same lines what the brother was talking about. Yeah. Like those are the other nations, this melting pot being a thorn in your side, and I gotta accept that. I not accept it, but I gotta deal with that. I got to deal with something that I know is totally off, and if I speak out against it, then I could possibly lose my job because they have a right to be that way. But that's America. That's Sodom and Egypt. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that revelation real quick and bring that out, because what sparked the lesson when we was watching the video about how Trump is planning on doing a UFC fight in the White House on White House grounds in 2026. Now, we didn't confirm it. We just kind of went over it. But that allegedly seems to be the case. And Satan. And that's nothing but bread and circuits, because we're going through some stuff, right? And stuff that we're going to go through is going to have people like questioning the narrative of government. So what is government going to do? They're going to do bread and circus. Like my man said in the video, he said, give them a bread and circus and they'll forget about their troubles.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read it real quick, and then you got it. This is Revelation 13:11. It says, "And behold, behold another beast coming out of the earth, and it had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon."
Mm-hmm. And the speaking in today's time is through legislation. If you read the legislation's showing that this man does not have your favor. He doesn't have you in, in his favor. You see that they just gave billions of dollars towards ICE, which ICE is the modern day bounty hunters, the Roundup group, and what are they giving them? More personnel. They're giving them more artillery. They're giving them more vehicles, giving them more stations to giving them more range. Pretty much that's a military, and who knows where they actually taking these illegals to. They're saying it's very costly to even do the job. It may cost more to even get them out than actually keeping them in. But it's not about that with this so-called white man. All right. That's part of him actually speaking because he's showing. All right. Even though they'll go on television and you always got some charismatic devil, man, got away with words, nice cut, suit and tie, speaking all these intellectual words about how to make America better and percentages. Yeah, percentages are down since percentages, all this extras bedazzling the masses of the people, it really is, it's a sword, man, because this kingdom, as it elevates, they're looking to take us out. They look at us as the problem. They look at us like they say minorities, consumers. Those are buzzwords to say the tribes, the Israelites. Because in Egypt, who were they after? They was after us. And Rome, who was they after? They were after us. So you think, fast forwarding today, America likes niggas, Hispanics and Native Americans? They hate our guts. And it don't matter if you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, you call yourself liberal, conservative, whatever you want to, whatever, like scripture speak about the covering cast, whatever you want to label yourself, it's not going to dismiss the fact that this kingdom is looking to put a down press soon in Revelation 12:12 on all our asses. And it's only a matter of time.
I got to read it. This is Psalms 94:20. It says, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law?" And that's the point that I wanted to bring out right there. This dude frameth mischief by law. Mm-hmm. He'll pass a bill like they passed a big, beautiful bill, which has $170 billion, which allegedly is 17 times the original budget for ICE to go and do this stuff to these people. Now, on a side note, this dude got money, $170 billion. Okay, so it's 350 million people in America, right? Roughly, maybe about 400 million. You're giving $170 billion to ICE. That means you can give $1 billion to every citizen on the soil and they'll be straight. Yeah. It's 350 million people. You're giving 170 billion. So you'll still have money left over after all that. Mm-hmm. But what do you choose to do with the money? Right? You choose just shows you to build concentration camps to take people to dump them there.
Oh, they just finished building Alcatraz.
Alcatraz. And then from what I've seen, all this is speculatory. I can neither deny or confirm. But then now they're saying that they're putting incinerators in alligator Alcatraz. Well, that's the same thing that they did in Germany. They was putting incinerators in the camps, right? Because they want to hide the bodies. We already know, and we know this for certain. This has actually been confirmed that there has been bodies that have been washed up on the shores, right? Chained up of Hispanic descent. Okay. Because they got flight patterns of these cargo planes, these military cargo planes going out to the ocean and then making a U-turn and coming right back. And they're saying that the people that they found when they autopsied them, they died from asphyxiation and they had been medicated, which means that, or they died from hypothermia, which means they had been sedated before they got on the plane. And then they probably died before they even drowned of hypothermia because how cold it was on the plane. Okay. So this is this diabolical leader that's in office that are passing bills to destroy people, to kill people, to take away to take away your everyday freedoms and shit like that. And this is what y'all people have voted for. And y'all Israelites, y'all gonna get it the worst because the scriptures say don't put one of the heathen above us as a leader, you know, because they don't have our best interest at heart ever. They all, ever since Babylon, Egypt, wherever the Israelites are, those people there are never for us. They're always against us.
Always against us.
And this is the worst possible time that we're living in right now. This is a time like never before and never shall be, according to what the scriptures say. So this is a very evil time. And it just goes to show you how wicked y'all Israelites are. And the Lord is allowing this evil to happen to you all because y'all voted for this shit. You know, I was watching a video well, these damn Latinos actually made a song talking about some I will vote for Donald Trump, and these cats are singing that shit like they getting it. They made that's a song of worship. You're worshiping this guy as a deity, right? So what do you think the Lord gonna do? Hey, you know what? You mind if I get another precept real quick? So I'm gonna go to the book of Isaiah 30.
In the meantime, I'm gonna say, because a lot of things the Northern Kingdom was doing is catching up on them now. You know, they really actually believe that this place was a country of favor because, you know, they're a latter generation like us. You know, we're not the original natives. I'll say the first batch of Jakes that got here. You know, time has passed since 1776 when the 2025. So after all these years, Jake falls asleep. They say slaves fall asleep after so many generations. You know, so these people really believe like, you know, this ain't the same America as it was back then. Back then they had segregation and we had Martin Luther King. Now we got rights. We got the Emancipation Proclamations. We get to go into these school systems and make white friends and Indian friends. So America is for all of us. We all have equal rights. That's not the case, man. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why you people the scriptures say you sleep or you walk in darkness because you really believe that bullshit that we all was fed. And when you actually really do your homework and do your due diligence and see how to read through the, like on the Matrix, they had the binary code, break the code and see what's really, really good. You'll see, oh, this man is working in the shadows, man.
That's right.
He just puts the blur in front of you and knows how to keep. That's a snake. Snakes are never. You don't usually just see a snake out in the open. They know how to move around in the system and be low key. Now you might see them here and there, but mass majority of the time, when it comes to especially a predator that's trying to catch prey, that's why it's prey because it's usually off guard. It's usually unaware, and that's what the predator takes full advantage. And this man is doing the same exact thing. You got it.
Yeah, and then I'm read this and you got it. This is Isaiah 30:1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin unto sin, that walk to go down into Egypt and not have have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion."
Yeah.
So all these people that have voted for Trump, right? And y'all put this man above y'all as a leader because y'all been beguiled or tricked or whatever y'all thought, right? All this evil that he's doing, that is now y'all strength. That is now y'all confusion. Because you all put it upon yourself. You put on the cloak of Pharaoh. You put on the cloak of Egypt. You wrapped yourself around that shit. Y'all wrapped yourself around the American flag and saying, this is my salvation. You never took the time to look to the Holy One of Israel and say, wait a minute, this man has been screwing us over for hundreds of years already. The same people that look like Donald Trump, those are the same people that have been doing us evil. And every continent, these people have touched their feet. As it says in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, it says, he heapeth unto him all nations, and he is his death, okay, and cannot be satisfied. Everywhere this dude goes and he step his foot, he creates death and destruction everywhere. And the nations are starting to realize that the brother he vaguely brought up earlier about the covering cast over all nations that the Lord had removed. So now this dude is doing stuff blatantly out in the open, and it's not that he's doing it blatantly out in the open. He's still trying to do his enchantments and trying to keep things in secret. It's just that the Lord has removed that covering cast, so he can no longer hide himself anymore. You know, but y'all still want it, even though this nigga is right out in the open doing it. Y'all still want to believe in him.
Yeah, still want to have, because y'all are addicted. That's the thing. Esau has created a high level of addiction in the society, feeding you all this damn sugar, freedom, a false sense of freedom to have all these bread and circus. That's what all bread and circus is about. The bread was the delicacies and the high lavish living, and the circus was the entertainment. This is all entertainment. This is the highest center of entertainment: boxing, basketball, MLB, baseball, football. Because this is the house of this kingdom houses the Israelites. And we dominate all these different sports. So mass majority of people, their energy is towards sporting events, you know, athleticism. You know, you might actually have a child that's an athlete, so you're going to want to take them to the best. Oh, in the school system, the education, the amount of money you can accrue here and the type of lifestyle, you can get you a nice house and, you know, so-called still chase the American dream, but you're nothing more. You're not doing nothing more but actually investing into a pit, a new level of captivity. And that's why the scripture says there's a new kingdom and a new heaven wherein dwelleth righteousness. Because if you look at the world, all the world is really shit for the most part. Mm-hmm. You got some places that's significantly better than others, but really, since this so-called white man came in power, Eden, this place is supposed to be paradise, is a living hell. So when you see America comparative to Mexico, you see how bad Mexico is. You see why they want to actually stay here in America. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't make America the kingdom of heaven either. And that's where you people are being duped and you're being bamboozled and hoodwinked because you really believe that this is paradise when really the Lord already has something better in store for us that we have to truly fight for. But we have to get through this kingdom first. You got it.
Yeah, the brother had brought up the word entertainment, and I wanted to bring out the etymology of that word. And it says it's from the late 15th century. It says to keep up, maintain, to keep someone in a certain frame of mind. Mm-hmm. So entertainment is really to hold the attention of your mind on something.
That meant.
Mm-hmm, that meant. You know, it basically translate enter is it going into the mind. What enters into the mind? Entertainment. It means it means to break. It breaks down and to hold the attention of the mind.
Yeah, because retain, like you have a retainer, it's to hold, which is witchcraft. That's how Esau keep those talons over your head, keep you in that, what do you call it, mental prison. Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say shalom to y'all bros on the comment board. Shalom.
I got a quick pre. Would you guys say something?
Oh yeah, and I got that was it. You got it.
Okay. This is Isaiah 8:21. Let me get it was a good version I just seen. Oh, in the Berean Standard Bible, it says they will roam the land dejected and hungry. When they are famished, they will become enraged, and looking upward, they will curse their king and their power. Yeah, and we're seeing that now. Mass majority of people are saying that this place is not for them. Like I said, starting out with you know the kingdom, man, because y'all are the one. Y'all some big boy consumers too, man. Mm-hmm. When it comes to always buying, you always see a Mexican at the store with a big ass 12 case of Corona, man. You know, he always in the store trying to get something to feel good, and you already know what type of illegal drugs that they all doing. And then they always in some type of entertainment. They hold America up a lot from their consumerism, man. Mm-hmm. You know, I remember a few years ago, the mindset was for Latins to save their money and put it back into building things in Mexico and move back to Mexico. Man, these Northern Kingdom, they ain't trying to do that. They got comfortable here. Mm-hmm. You know, they took all the money that they're making from these different construction jobs and they're putting it right back in the damn system. So now this man is coming through these streets, you know, putting a aggressive press on these tribes, and they naked. Y'all lacking out here because y'all didn't build when the available time that y'all had, and we told you so. You can't say nobody told you so. So we got Northern Kingdom brothers that go out and prophesy too, and I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all seen us, man. There's individuals that, tell you the truth, but y'all use y'all energy and y'all resources to get further in this pit. And now you naked. You just gotta, like Elder Rock is out here in the camp. You just gotta figure it out, man. We can't do nothing. Our job is just to warn you, get the blood off of our hands, so that you have the necessary hedge around you to actually, be covered by the blood of Yahweh Shah. But you didn't do so.
Well, they didn't believe us.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't believe us. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been in this truth. This is almost 8 years now, and before then, even before I came into truth, I was seeing all the stuff that was happening, and I was actually talking about it. Like, they passing this law, and you would say this to these people, and because they're having a good time right now, and everything is good for them right now, they can't perceive that we got bad things coming down the pipe, because you are sacrificing your future for instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
You getting there. The system is offering you something that's pleasing you now, so you're giving up what will sustain you later. Okay, so that's where we are right now. So now all of that money and all of those resources that should have been reserved for times like now, they're depleted. They're gone. You don't have them anymore. So now you're looking for a leader that can help restore that comfort that was taken from you. But what we were telling you is that comfort is not coming back. It's gone. That comfort is gone. It's not coming back. There's not a leader that's going to bring that back, because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai said this place is going to be destroyed. Okay? That is going to be death, famine, pestilence, and the sword that's coming for America. And it's here. This big, beautiful bill that he passed, bro, they got provisions to employ parts of the military in that bill. Yeah. They have provisions for that, because they understand, they know that people are going to fight back. Like, you had these Haitians that attack ICE. You had a couple of Latin Americans and Hispanics that band together, and they attacked ICE and put them out their neighborhood. Well, you don't think he's aware of that? He understands that y'all are going to fight back. So he's putting provisions into place to quell that type of dissent. And that's what that $170 billion is for. Also, the big, beautiful bill also consolidated power to the executive branch. What does that mean? This man is more like a king than he is more like an executive now, because now he can just do stuff without impunity. Mm-hmm. And he has what's the word that it's a type of immunity. It's called something immunity, plausible immunity. I think that's what you call it. To where even though he's acting upon it and he's doing something that seemingly is violating your rights and against the law, he's immune from it, from prosecution. Yeah. It's the same thing that these pharmaceutical companies have, where they can commit a malpractice on you openly and knowingly, and you can't sue their ass. You can't do nothing about it. So that's kind of like what he got going on, So you think he ain't gonna exercise that power? Of course, he about to come in like a flood.
Mm-hmm.
You got it, bro.
It's Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. Yeah, so that's America, man. How many of our forefathers do we have as examples that literally got destroyed here? Mm-hmm. Certain Jakes that actually did well, actually were economically sound, and they all went through all the necessary channels to be, quote unquote, rich or live a favorable lifestyle, and it turned out to be sour. Because this man, he changes legislations overnight, man. You got certain jails and prisons that's locked up with Jakes that was for laws that was once illegal, now turned legal.
And they still in there.
And they still got the things on their record. So we're living in a hypocritical kingdom, and the Lord is going to destroy this place, man. Mm-hmm. And it's only a matter of time. That's why this devil said he's coming down with great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time. So as we see how hard he's coming down, we know it's only a matter of time left. We only got a short time. So we just got to keep doing what we're doing. Scripture says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. It happened in Rome, happened during the time of the Maccabees with the Hasmonean dynasty, which was the Grecian time, where they was coming against the Israelite, Egypt. We have so many examples of this history repeating itself. That's how we know we the true Israelites. And it's being orchestrated and pushed too by those small hats. Amalek. that propagate themselves as being the true chosen people, which they're not. You gotta.
Yeah, I got I just want to bring out this one precept, and then after that, I want to wrap it up.
I get a chosen.
You want to get this precept?
Yeah, I had one too.
I got one too.
Okay. Yeah, you get. Oh, you want me to read this and then you close it out?
Go ahead.
Okay. This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decree. Oh, that's what you got?
No.
Yeah,
pull that.
Okay. Unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness. What spearhead is that had to come out?
Mm-hmm.
Grievousness which they have prescribed to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fathers. Yeah, so that's Esau. This legislation is becoming more and more heinous, like on that bill to cut health care. He don't even want you to be healthy. He don't give a shit about your health. He wants you to die. He wants to actually, he has this stuff is known as a sword, man. So he's trying to kill you, but he's not literally going to go to these different nation, land masses and actually just stab you. He's going to use legislation to strangle you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Strangle out your funds, strangle out your health, look at the education. These people, the children are becoming stupid about it. They're dilapidated, man.
You cannot, you can't say anything to these people because about anything. They wear their emotions on their sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That was a good one too. But I'm gonna bring out this one. This is Revelation 13:3, and it says, "And I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death, and the deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast." Now you have the Roman Empire, then came the British Empire, then came America. So that's that, and that's why America is so close to what the Roman Empire looked like. Didn't they have? They had the Palladians and the patricians,
mm-hmm.
and you got the Democrat and Republican Party, you got the House, the Senate, and you have the Caesar, and then you have the House, the Senate, and the President. So the same like how Rome had garrisons in all
mm-hmm.
of these different countries, and America got military bases in all these different countries, which are essentially garrisons. All of the world was flocking to Rome. All the world is flocking to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, and here's the point that I wanted to make in verse 4 and verse 5. It says, and they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things. This is what I wanted to bring out in the beginning. Mm-hmm. It was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. All right. So the point is, man, this dude says, and you look at Trump, he says the most marvelous things that comes out of his mouth. And then he passes all those unrighteous decrees to be his legislation. But see, here's the thing about y'all idiots. Y'all think that Trump was the one who started this shit? No.
Mm-mm.
This shit has been going on, man.
Yeah.
I believe Trump is the finisher of it. He's the capstone. He's the one that's going to put it all together. But this stuff has been happening since 1913 when they passed the Federal Reserve Act. Ever since then, they've been putting the executive order and bill into place to bring this infrastructure that's here now.
It's a system that they're building. They're not just assuming and just winging it, man. When they put these individuals in office, they already have a preconceived notion of what they want to do. That's why these small hats, they put a certain guy as it's a face. Trump is nothing but a figurehead. He's just a face, and they have a system, and it's ultimately who runs this kingdom? Satan. The spiritual demon Satan rests within the physical counterpart, the so-called white man, and they work as a hive, all under that vibration to push that left hand, the final resurrection of the beast system. And we've seen this system try to be built already through previous kingdoms. This is just a new updated version of Babylon, which the final end all be all was full control and to build that tower to the heavens. That was ancient Babel, with the Lord confounded the nation, and modern, and then you had Neo Babylon, which the Israelites were in captivity, but which was under the Chaldeans' excellency and all the witchcraft and sorcery, soothsayers, and all this during the time of Daniel. And we're seeing the same thing now. The exact same thing. Nothing has changed. The parallels was there. But see, now he has the actual intelligence to push the highest form of AI, which we seeing how that's going. That's a lesson. That's going to be another lesson in itself. You know, and pushes witchcraft, but the Most High is going to break the head of all that. That's why our job is to push, keep pushing the engine. I know brothers is tired in this kingdom, man. This is scripture says to wear out the saints. We all tired. We all want to go home, but we have to do that which is required to get there. And then the Lord told us just to speak against the war, you know, prophesy, you know, speak to the wind. If nobody don't hear you, the Lord hears you. Cry out. That's in the law. If you being mistreated, cry to the Lord, and the Lord will answer. Says how your prayers pierce the clouds, man. You know, so that's what, you know, you had anything else?
Yeah, that's it.
You know, that's all we wanted to go through, you know, through the spirit, just pushing this energy. You know, we ain't got too much longer, but we know this man, he's going to have to make that. He's going to have to move them chess pieces forward. So the Lord will you know, push his chess pieces forward, so to speak. You know, and he's using everything, using this devil pursuing the Proverbs, the 21st chapter anyways. You know, so with that, we're going to end it by giving all praise and honor and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostle elders, a great millstone. Shalom, Akim. Shalom.